when you have a child, as you know, like you didn't know you could love someone that deep. It's like, you can love your wife in a certain particular way, and it's very rich. But then you have a child. It's just like, what is this? Different compartment of your heart opens up. Just then you have multiple children. You just realize your capacity only grows. It's like, how could I love the next one as much as I love this one? And then you realize, wow, 100%, you love them as much.
Sort of have been leaning into this idea that our kids aren't given to us just so that I can teach them how to live well in society. It's a huge opportunity for me to grow. Like, I feel like, call it 50-50, but God gave me kids half so that I can learn to be the man I'm supposed to be. Right. And I don't know, like when I was a kid, I sort of felt at times that my parents like had it all figured out. And with my kids, a lot of times I'm like, dude, I don't have it all figured out. Like, you're my first kid, or you're my first son, or you're my only son. Like, I'm doing this kind of like as we go. Let's have a conversation around this. I'm learning alongside with you. And so what are your thoughts about that? Like your kids aren't just for you to teach them, but they're really there to reveal so much about how God sees you as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, one of the biggest things is you start to realize how much you're loved by him. That is massive, and because when you have a child, as you know, like you didn't know you could love someone that deep. It's like, you can love your wife in a certain particular way, and it's very rich. But then you have a child. It's just like, what is this? Different compartment of your heart opens up. Then you have multiple children. You just realize your capacity only grows. It's like, how could I love the next one as much as I love this one? And then you realize, wow, 100%, you love them as much, just different. And so, with that experience, I think you've realized just how much you're loved. And let's be honest, your ability to receive love is what forms you to become what I believe already were before you came. I mean, that love is the very thing that reveals, my truest identity, my authentic self.
If you were to define love, what would you say love is?
I mean, I would define it straight out of 1 Corinthians 13. Love is patient, it's kind, doesn't keep record of wrong. Every adjective that 1 Corinthians 13 uses is what I would use. Sorry, I'm going to get my WhatsApp switched off here. So yeah, that's what I would use. 1 Corinthians 13. That's the best definition of love. But I think patience and kindness, if you wanted to kind of define it super quick and easy for a little one to understand, patience and kindness. I mean, that's how it is demonstrated, I find, most often in day-to-day living.
Man, that's so simple. And I think if we were to apply that to almost every situation throughout the day, if I had patience, then it's not about my agenda. And if I'm kind, it's not so much about how this situation is, like always thinking, how does this impact Ned? How does this impact Ned? So if we could take patience and kindness as far as the action points throughout our day, that is operating in love. So, dude, I'll share something with you. Ever since that retreat we went to in Breckenridge, I've actually read 1 Corinthians 13 every single morning since then, as part of like a little morning ritual. And what's funny is this morning I woke up and I actually sent it out in a text that I send out to men every Wednesday morning. But this morning I woke up, like the last few days, I feel like I've been feeling more love towards those in my care. And what I've been doing is reading it out loud. So not just reading it silently, but sitting outside with my coffee or whatever and like reading it out loud one time through. And I feel like I'm starting to notice the benefits. It's been probably about, I don't know, 25, 30 days since we were all together. But interesting.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
All right.
I mean, another thing I would tell the boys, like, little guys don't necessarily understand these words, but patience is, waiting. We always tell them it's the waiting with a happy spirit, You get to wait with a happy spirit rather than be anxious. I mean, look, if you're anxious for anything, God says He's anxious for nothing, and He says, be anxious for nothing. I mean, if you're anxious for something, there's probably a lack of love in there somewhere, because, in love, you're patient, you can wait with a happy spirit, irrespective of the circumstance at hand. That's what a gift. I mean, you have that in you. It really doesn't matter what's going on around you. You're going to respond in the same way every time, which is patience. Patient kindness. I mean, that is just too legit.
Yeah. So what word would